there in YouTube Guitar Land. Music Man Aaron coming at you with some James Taylor. We're going to do Copperline. I had already had a lesson of this out there, but some of it wasn't even 100% correct, and the sound was terrible, so I'm kind of redoing it. Hopefully this is a little bit more helpful. We're going to cover the intro and the kind of first verse leading up to the chorus in this lesson. We'll take the intro. We're going to kind of break it up into 4 little parts. 4 bars or whatever we can call it. And we're going to start in this kind of G/D kind of chord, D/G. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different kind of with the picking pattern. Usually you kind of pick a bass note first and then the notes that go with it. But this time we're going to be picking the notes and then the bass note last. We're going to start off by plucking the 2nd fret of the G string and then the 2nd fret of the high E, followed by that bass note, which is the 3rd fret of the low E. And then we're going to keep that same position. This time we're going to pluck that same first note, 2nd fret of the G, and then the 3rd fret of the B, followed by, again, that bass note. And then we're going to do the same exact thing we did in kind of the first part, and we're kind of on part 3 now, where you're going to do that. And then kind of part 4 of the intro is the little chord change that leads right up into the kind of start of the song. You can just kind of release that pointing finger there, and you're not going to use that low E bass note anymore. You're going to change to the A bass note, and you're going to play that open now G string, followed by the B 3rd fret. And instead of plucking that 3rd fret low E, you're plucking that A as the bass note. So let's kind of play through that again a little slower here. One more time. And then that will kind of lead you into the kind of main riff of the song, which basically is a nice little exchange between a D chord and a B minor 7, which is kind of a classic James Taylor chord. Now, I'm aware that if you watch like James Taylor videos, or you're familiar with his music, you're going to see that he kind of plays his chords a little bit differently than a lot of other people. He plays his D chord like this, actually, which makes that transition from this D to that B minor 7 a little bit easier for some people, I suppose, but I've been playing my D chord like this for so long that it's kind of hard for me to always just change it into playing it like this. So just so you are aware, you will see that. Feel free to play it however suits you better, whatever you're more comfortable with. But the main idea of getting this riff down is basically that bass note exchange of that D bass note, the open D, with that B bass note, the 2nd fret of the A string. And then a little bit of strumming in between. You also have that hammer-on of that 2nd fret of the high E. And that's basically the bulk of it. The key basically is just keeping that bass note progression going and then kind of slowly adding that kind of hammer-on while you're putting those chords together. So I'll kind of play it a little bit here. Excuse me. notice, though, what the important thing to keep going on, like I said, is you can actually start off, if you want to, try to practice this, and just basically play that bass note exchange between those two chords. And you'll find that in the time it takes you to move your hand from these position back to this position, sometimes is enough time to basically allot for that hammer-on of that high E second fret, because there takes time to move your hand, your fingering. So I'm going to start by just kind of playing that bass note just together, the bass notes of those chords together. And kind of followed by just a little bit of some small flicking of these fingers here. And then as long as you keep that bass note sequence going and the timing of it, if you keep that timing going, you'll know you'll be right, and then the rest of it is kind of just the adding in of that hammer-on, and kind of that's the little itty-bitty strumming of those chords. So again, I'll kind of play through it again. So again, it can be a little bit tricky. I mean, I know it's only two chords, but that's kind of the beauty of James Taylor's music, is that he wouldn't have it any other way. Only he can take D and B minor 7 and make it complex and beautiful like that. But again, listen to the timing of the recording and you'll hear that bass note exchange. So as long as you keep that going consistently, and then kind of add the flicking, you'll kind of automatically get that hammer onto that note in the time it takes you to move your hands. So play with that, work on it, slow down and kind of add the tempo a little bit later. But it's a very fun little riff to play. The only other part there that we got to add to the verse, there's a couple little chords that are thrown in there. Once you actually start with the lyrics, you'll kind of do that D to B minor 7 exchange 3 times, and then the lyric will come in, it's what they call it, like they do. And when you get to that, you're basically just kind of adding in a G chord, and then a kind of a G/A. So let's play up to that there. Do that one more time. So again, that's 3 times through of this, then into a G, and then kind of a G/A. And the big thing is just kind of those bass notes, adding those bass notes, that 3rd fret, low E, and then that open A. And then after you play that little part, you're going to then go back to your D and B minor, and you're going to do that 2 times. And then you're going to kind of do a little another chord change here where you're adding E minor 7, a D/F sharp, and then kind of a G9. So let's kind of hear what that sounds like. And there's not really a lot of strumming on that G because you're kind of be at the lyric where I was wondering since the age of 2 down on Copperline. And there's a little bit of a kind of a pause there before you kind of head right back into that, I guess, second part of the verse where they have that Copperhead, Copper Beach, that part. So, again, let's play through that one more time. So if we take that whole thing together, basically you have, from the very beginning of the words, you have the D, B minor, D, B minor, D, B minor 7, 3 times. Then you have that G, and then that G slash A. Then you have that D, B minor 7, D, B minor 7 2 times. Then you have the E minor 7, D slash F sharp, and then that kind of G9. So then, when you get to that next part of the verse, you're going to again be doing your D and your B minor 7 2 times. And then the third time through, you're going to start with your D, then you're going to go to D slash F sharp, to G, and then back into one of those kind of G slash A chords. So let's kind of play that. One more time. And then from there you go back to your D and your B minor 7 2 more times, and then you're going to wrap it up with the last few chords right before the chorus, which are again that E minor 7, your D slash F sharp, and kind of a D slash G, and then an A. You can kind of hear that A that kind of changes the feel of the song because you can kind of tell that you're going to the chorus or bridge or whatever you want to call it with the half a mile down to Morgan. So anyways, second part of that verse, at the very end, you have your B and your D and your B minor 7 2 times, and then you wrap it up with the E minor 7, D slash F sharp, D slash G, to an A. Let's play through that second part of the verse. Oh, excuse me, got that last part screwed up. Sorry about that. So let's play through that one more time and hopefully without the mistake. But you have your D, your B minor 7, your B minor 7, then your D F sharp, your G, and then your kind of G A, and back to your D to your B minor 7 2 times, and then wrap it up with the E minor 7, D slash F sharp, D slash G, to the A. And that'll pop you right up to the chorus part. So, again, not a ton of chords really in this song. It's kind of more just the pattern of them, and you kind of follow along with the lyrics and you'll kind of hear where they come in. But the really key, again, is just kind of that picking pattern that you have between the D and the B minor 7. And then you kind of just kind of spice those other chords in while you try to keep that picking pattern going. So, a really fun song, a lot more complicated than it would seem, but that's what makes it so much fun. I hope this is helpful. I do have part 2 out there that covers the chorus. Feel free to check that out. But until next time, Music Man RN, out.